Ready to go?
Let's get it.
All right. What's going on, guys? Still Active Podcast, episode number 4. We're back at it. Hope y'all are doing good. We're doing great. Really happy to be here. I'm Matthew Cano.
Matthew Barton, founders of Still Active, baby.
Let's go. Yeah, super excited about this episode. We have another surprise guest for you guys. Keep a lookout for that. Some really nice questions, some really nice value today. Yeah, super happy to be here again. Last week, if you guys checked it out, episode 3, really good response, really fun episode 2. Keep the feedback coming, guys, as always, for sure. Barton, do you want to tell these people what we got going on? What we're doing this episode? Start us off,
All
please.
right, guys. Well, we're gonna kick it off as usual. We're gonna review the question of the week last week. So the question of the week last week was,
Can you make your own luck?
can you?
And we debated it a little bit. We talked about it. We asked Dale Brewer last week. Shout out to Dale. Really fun having him on there. But yeah, we had a great conversation about that. And we put it on our Instagram story for you guys to answer too. We got some pretty good responses from that as well. Pull it up. Pull it up. This guy with his gadgets.
All right. So we asked this on our Instagram. Got a couple responses, a little bit less than last week, but still appreciate y'all. Keep showing that love and support. First answer was just hell yeah. So I mean that dude's hyped up. Shout out him. Our second response was no. Otherwise, I'd be up on sports betting right now. That's a tough one, man. I feel for you.
Damn.
That's why I don't do it. We got a yeah. Stay prepared and keep moving. We got a couple more just yes. Don't be afraid to dive in, guys. Give us some context. Let's see what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, I love to hear it. We both do. So it helps us too. Keeps the conversation going, makes it more juicy. And not only just the yes, but tell us why yes or no, like with everything. Love to hear that. So
Yeah, let's debate.
yeah.
I think it's time, guys.
Drum roll for the special guest this week, episode number 4, featuring Mr. Steven Napolitano.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, fellas?
What is up, bro?
How we doing?
We're good. We're good. Can't believe I'm here.
Happy
Dude,
to
I
have you,
know,
brother.
dude. This has been a long time coming. I'm so excited for this.
This has been. Man, I love to see everything you guys are doing, and I'm happy to be just a small part of it.
Bro, this is monumental. You're a pioneer. This is episode 4 and you're already on here, so it's important for sure. But
Yes,
dude,
sir.
nah, we love to see everything you got going on. So Mr. Steven Napolitano, I've known this guy for a long time. We played music. We went to the same high school. But
Played
it's bigger than
football.
that. Oh, played football. Yeah, but it's bigger than all that.
Yeah.
We've been out of school for a while now. We've kept in contact, played music, supported each other along the way, and it's been awesome to say the least. Happy that you agreed to join us and you're here, and tell us about a little bit about yourself and what you got going on right now. Like, let the people know. We want to know, Nat.
All right. All right. Man, I love the fact that that nickname never went out of style.
Dude, no, it never will.
I am Steven Napolitano, coming at you right now from beautiful Savannah, Georgia. As Matt said, originally from Herkimer, moved down to Georgia last June. I work as a design engineer for Gulfstream Aerospace. I'm also an executive committee member for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society of Savannah and Southeast Georgia. On
Let's
top of that,
go.
yeah. On top of that, also coach a little football down here. I have a 2-year-old English bulldog named Cannoli who's actually barking right now.
Cannoli. We love cannoli.
I love cannoli too. If you can see the little book holders behind me, those are
Classic.
bulldogs.
Classic.
I'm a believer in self improvement and looking to take that next step up the ladder each and every day.
Let's
Hell yeah,
go,
man.
dude.
Love to hear it. Sounds like you're a little bit of jack of all trades.
Little bit, little bit. You know, there's the old saying, "Jack of all trades is a master of none," but master of none is better than a master of one.
Ooh.
I agree with it. Getting into it.
Yeah, it's a great big beautiful life, and there's a lot to do. There's a lot to experience. Like Matt was saying, you know, been playing music together since high school, played football, stayed in contact all the way through college, through getting our first jobs, Matt having a kid, starting a family.
Yes, absolutely, dude. It's been a wild journey, but we're still so young, and like you said, we still have a lot to experience, a lot of things to check out and learn and do, and I'm just really grateful that I get to do it with some of the coolest people around. So, thank you, bro.
Man, I
Much
feel
much
cooler
love,
every time I'm around you and every time we talk.
dude. I was just gonna stop taking the words out of my mouth, Nat.
No, for real. Like, if you look at any of the photos from when we played together, I've always tried to make sure that like I would get Matt in there just because they see him, they see the tattoos, they see the they see the face, and it's like, oh man, I'm posting this on Instagram, and I don't want to like it, but I see Matt and gotta hit the double tap.
Shucks, man. I'm blushing. I'm blushing. Stop it. Stop. Nah, but for real, brother, I appreciate you more than I can say in words. And you've been doing a lot of you dude, you've been doing so much cool stuff, man. Like it was only right that we have you on here. Yeah, dude. So the engineering stuff, that's pretty wild, right?
Yeah, we get to do some pretty cool stuff at work. If you guys don't know what we do at Gulfstream Aerospace, we design, build, and sell business and private aircraft.
Dang.
That's sick.
Okay. Okay.
What's your sector in that?
I'm in the completions side, and I work solely on the G700 model, which is one of our newer and our largest airplane that we build.
That's sick.
Dang.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a learning experience. I kind of got to be a little careful of what I say just because of, IP and everything. But a lot of it you can just kind of Google, see what we do, see our specs. If there's a celebrity you like, odds are they've flown on or own a Gulfstream.
Sweet. That's something cool to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right on. Right on. I like it.
A lot of them post them like to their Instagram too. Like I forget how long ago it was, but Kim Kardashian bought one for her daughter.
Wow.
Isn't our
Yeah.
daughter like 10?
Yeah.
Can she operate that thing yet?
They got people.
Yeah, they got people. Yeah.
They got people, so they can have a slumber party on their Gulfstream.
I mean, that's goals, honestly. So have you flown in one, right? You flown in one?
I have not yet. Hoping
Dang.
to pretty soon here. But I gotta say, it is pretty cool getting to design some of the assets and other things associated in the cabin. So that's kind of what completions is. The aircraft is built, and now we do everything in the cabin. All the gadgets, the chairs, all like the customization of things.
Dude, that's
Cabinetry,
sick.
that's a big one.
Right
Right
on.
on.
So
So
roughly how like I'm
I'm
sure the
sure the
projects are
projects
all
are all
different that
different
you
that
get
you get
assigned
assigned
and you're
and
a
you're a
part of,
part
but
of, but
like
like
on
on
average,
average,
like
like
what's the
what's the
duration
duration
of
of
like
like
I
I
guess a
guess a
portion
portion
or a
or a
project,
project,
singular
singular
project
project
that
that
like
like
you
you
have to
have to
complete?
complete?
Like
Like
how
how
long are we
long are we
talking
talking
here?
here?
Because we're
Because we're
dealing with
dealing
It
with
planes.
planes.
Like
Like
this is
this is
no
no
joke.
joke.
Yeah, it really depends on what project or task you get assigned. Sometimes they take a day. You want to try to not reinvent the wheel every time you engineer something. Other times it'll take a week, 2 weeks. Because I'm still relatively new to the job, I haven't been put on those longer tasks yet, but it really depends case by case.
Right. No, I can see that.
Yeah. Now, I will say that a lot of it is continuous improvement too. So, we'll complete a bit of engineering, and then we'll go on to the next step and say, yeah, but we can improve this. That'll then go on to another step. Yeah, but we can improve this. And it basically gets to a point where it will eventually plateau. And that's actually what you want. You want to
Right.
say, okay, this is about as good as we can make it. And now you can take notes and say, okay, what can we do better for next time? What can we take from this and either improve or apply to, maybe I don't know, maybe a different model or something. Like I said, we get to do some pretty cool things, And this job is something I never really saw myself doing out of college. I didn't really know what I wanted. I mean, I wanted to be in engineering, but I didn't know what exactly I wanted to be involved in. And I'm still trying to figure that out a little bit, but I will say right now, I really do. I do like what I get to do for my 9 to 5 job.
That's the goal.
That's super important. And we talked about that, I think, on our last episode. If you love your job, like that is the goal. You want to wake up in the morning and love what you do, be passionate about it, maybe even think about it after work. You know what I mean? That's when you kind of know that you're in something that you love.
Hmm.
For sure, and I think that the point of self-improvement and things like that and continuous growth that you get to apply to your job and experience every day, I feel like that can transfer into other areas of your life as well. So do you find that some of the techniques and conversations you have as far as being an engineer and the collaborative efforts you have transfer into other areas of your life that will, improve your daily efficientness? Is that a word? Efficientness? Is that a
Efficiency,
word?
I guess.
Yeah, dude, sorry, it's been a long day. Cut that out.
No,
Cut
you're
that
good.
part out. Cut that part.
It's actually it's a little bit of both. I think that everything I've learned kind of outside of work has definitely helped me out and applied to how I face adversity and challenges when I'm in the office. Some people can't take criticism and authority as well as others. I'm only singling out football. I'm sure there are a lot of other sports activities, hobbies, whatever else that give you the same lessons. But this is just kind of my own experience where I feel like we can maybe handle adversity a little better than others. And in this field, that's not to leave out other strenuous 9 to 5 jobs. We face a lot of adversity. Um,
Yeah,
Heck, even maybe you know you thought you thought you were being a good employee, you thought you were doing a really good job, and then you kind of get told, "Hey, you need to pick up the pace. You're not up to our standards." And you kind of got to say, "Man, I'm giving my all right now, and it's still not enough. What do I do?" And the answer isn't pack your bag and go home. So that's the one side of it. I think the other side of being able to take the lessons I learned at work and apply it to my personal life, definitely. Especially like the before I was at this job, I was in quality assurance. But I think I've been able to kind of take some lessons I learned from being a professional engineer and apply it to my personal life. Definitely like lean and kaizen methodology. If you guys don't really know what that is, check out the Toyota way. It's a really cool set of standards and principles that can be applied to just about everybody. It can be kind of classified as just advanced organization. Growing up, I was definitely not the most organized person. I'm still not really the most organized person, but now I can kind of see how a process flows and say, okay, how can this be improved, and start to see almost like a pattern.
right. No, that's awesome, dude. Let's talk about the continuous growth. It's no secret that you've been through a lot recently, and I'm sure you're still going through some sort of, you know,
When I look back at, I'm going to say, the last 10 years of my life, I went to college, just with the thought that, yeah, this is great. I'm going to get my engineering degree. I'm going to play college football. I'm going to have the best time of my life. 2 out of 3 of those things happened. I got my engineering degree and I played football. I had nowhere near the best time of my life. Um, I faced probably some of the worst depression I've ever had. I just felt so. I felt like a square be trying to be shoved into a round hole. I felt so out of place, and I just kept thinking, hey, it will eventually get better. It'll eventually get better. Just keep grinding. I know this sucks, but it's gonna be worth it. So my program was, I did a 3-2 program. I did 3 years at St. Lawrence University, and then that was to go on to 2 years at Clarkson University. So 3 years at St. Lawrence University, I am depressed. I don't have a lot of friends. Yeah, I'm on the football team. I'm not having the best time though. I'm not a good student. I was not I was not a great student when I was in college. I struggled a lot. And that's maybe just a little factoid for anyone listening to this who is in a STEM program. It is hard. If you don't get the best of grades, it's okay. Just keep going. So I'm there for 3 years, and then it was almost like I wanted to close this chapter of my life. And there was an I'll never forget this. There was like, I feel like this is the rebirth of me. The day after my last day in college, I completely moved out, and I'll name drop some of our friends. Me, Dale, Gavin, Riesel, and Kyle Smith. We all went to go see state champs in Albany, and I had the best time of my life. I said, "This is it. I'm finally gonna. My life is gonna improve. I don't know how, but it's gonna improve." So that's spring 2017. The rest of that year, I worked through the summer. I finally transferred to Clarkson University. I make some great friends there. My grades improve. I started playing music again. I started playing with a college band. Shout out Harrington's Heroes.
Yes.
Um, and I'm just like, this is awesome. I finally feel good. I go through the next summer. I moved out to Buffalo for the summer. I lived with my dad. Was working out there for a little bit. Came back to Clarkson, and at this point, this is what is my or what should be my second to last semester in college. So I'm thinking I need to pass my classes, I need to graduate, I need to get a job. That was a pretty busy semester. I started pledging Phi Kappa Sigma fraternity. I was playing. I went back and played football. Only now I wasn't playing at the Division 3 level. I was playing at the club football level, which it was fun. I had a great. Honestly, I had some of the best times playing football at Clarkson. It was different, but I liked it, and it helped me. It didn't feel like a job.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I have these two big things. Also, just trying to get through, pass my classes, and get my degree. And in November in 2018, I started to get really, really sick. And I had no idea what was going on with me. It started off with I couldn't swallow food. I could only, for about a month, the only thing I could eat were mashed potatoes, cottage cheese, just like things that were like that I didn't have to chew, that were easy to swallow. After that, I I started to lose my vision. I remember there was and because all this was happening, I felt so fatigued. And then one day I looked in the mirror, and it was weird. I felt like this pain in the right side of my body. I lifted my arms up, and it almost looked like there was like a baseball in my armpit. I called my dad, like on the verge of tears, saying, "I can't see, I can't eat, something is wrong with me." He drove all the way from Batavia, New York, up to Potsdam, New York, which, if you guys don't know, that's about a 5 hour drive. And then from there, drove me down to Herkimer. And I wish I could say that when I went to the doctor the next day, they told me what was wrong with me. I wish I could say that, but that wasn't the case. I went in for an endoscopy, and they said, "We know the problem. You've got a stomach ulcer." And I'm thinking, is all this happening to me really because of a stomach ulcer? I'm at a point where I kind of turned my brain on autopilot, and I have to go back to school. To this day, I don't know how I did it. It all seems like a blur. I showed up, I went to class feeling like garbage, not eating, not sleeping, and at this point, more and more of those growths that were in my armpit are popping up in my upper body. I finished the semester, I drive home, and at this point, I'm 25 pounds down from where I was at the start of the month. It got so bad where the clothes that looked good on me were I had like 3 t-shirts left over from high school. I started wearing those. From there, my mom took me to see just my primary care doctor, and they kind of said, "Yeah, let us know if you feel better." And she said, "Can we please just get him in for a CT scan?" And they started to say, with if you request that, there's issues with insurance. And she just kind of put her foot down and said, "No, you're going to give him a CT scan." All this is happening, and by the way, life doesn't stop.
Of course not.
So 2 days later, I was on a trip with my dad. We are going down to New York City for Christmas, just to see like Rockefeller Center and do all that like Christmassy stuff. And I actually got a call from them at the Poughkeepsie train station saying that they want to perform a biopsy. No idea what a biopsy is. I said, well, I'm traveling right now. Can we reschedule this for next week? And they said, we can, but you should really get in here as soon as you can. I ended up before I went in for the biopsy, I ended up going to this is so weird. Because you kind of forget about and maybe people listening to this who aren't from the valley won't understand it, but there's like a little Slocum Dixon center in Ilion,
Mhm.
and I went in there and I met the oncologist, and he actually went through all my scans with me and got to this point right here in my chest, and he said, "There's about a mass the size of a baseball in there." And he's like, "And that's not supposed to be there." So from there, it was like, okay, what's going on? Is this, do I have a bad case of mono? Do I have Lyme? Internally, I'm like, there's a very good chance I have cancer, but I'm not going to say that word until I know that word, until
Right.
until I know it is. So from there, I received bone marrow biopsy, nodal biopsies, mediastinoscopy. Eventually, got called in, came back, and he said, basically, we have a diagnosis. This is stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma, nodular sclerosis. The good news is we can we can fight it and we can cure it. And I said, okay, okay. And I remember looking at him. His name was Dr. Sichter. And when he said that, I almost like went into a 5-second trance. It's just like everything around me started to go blurry. It stopped, and then I was back in reality.
That's insane.
Yeah. Um,
Intense.
it was it there was this stage of where it's like this shouldn't happen to me. I just finished my last football season. Like I work out. I mean, yeah, I drink with my buddies every now and then because we're in college, but I work out. I've always been healthy. What happened? And I went like there was like a week or two. I'm like, where did I go wrong? Where did I take a wrong step? What did I do that I shouldn't have done that caused this?
Right.
And then later on I found out that those are not the questions you need to ask yourself, because no one knows. No one knows. I mean, maybe you look at older people who have lung cancer who have been smokers for forever, and you can kind of say, yeah, that probably did it. But with issues like these, you don't know. But what you do know is you can either fight or you can cower. I started treatment at the University of Rochester Strong Memorial Hospital in January. I had my last treatment in May of 2019. I lost every bit of hair on me, experienced neuropathy, every side effect that came with chemo, basically had it. Here was one of the kickers. So after I have my last chemotherapy, I have a scan, and doctor comes in the office. He says, "We don't know why, but you're still lighting up." And I said, "Okay, okay. Um, what do we do from here?" He said, "I we don't want to perform. We don't want to perform another biopsy. We don't because we don't know why this is happening. We want to give this 2 months. If you have experiencing any other issues, let us know. We'll get you in. But this is just too weird for us right now." 2 months go by. I come back in. I have a clean scan, determined to be cancer free.
Bless up.
And that was one of just like the weirdest. I don't even know how to describe those. To describe all those months. I kind of wish I could just say, yeah, they were all a blur, but they were really intense. And looking back at it, it's crazy to think about it because I actually consider myself really lucky because I met people who had it a million times worse than I ever did. I met people, befriended people who unfortunately are no longer with us because of their cancer diagnosis. And at the end of the day, I'm able to say, hey, I'm able to walk away from this, not knowing what the future holds. But right now, I know that this is something I don't want to call it'll never be fully in my past, but this is something I can look back on and have, I guess, have a story about, and maybe just maybe be able to help someone else if they have something similar going on.
Definitely, man. And,
Yeah.
and it's also like a medal, like kind of honor, man. Cause I mean, you really were a warrior through all of that. Like emotions, the physical, seeing your family go through it, being sad, the internal thoughts with yourself. Like that's a lot. That's a lot. Especially like you said, life does not slow down. Being in school with all that stuff, man, like, round of applause to you, man, for real. Cause that is some extreme perseverance, resilience, bravery, and to see what you're doing now with it, continuing to be like a head supporter, a leader, someone people look up to, and just how you embrace it, with you running the marathons, you being a chairman with your organization, coming on the podcast, sharing this message, because there are people out there that are going through similar things right now, and just hearing your story and your resilience through it all, like definitely extremely inspiring and amazing.
No, I really appreciate that. I was pretty fortunate that Clarkson allowed me to take that spring semester off and then come back, finish up in the fall. It's funny. You said the last question of the week was, do you create your own luck? I believe totally yes, to a certain extent. Sometimes it just happens. Where I'm going with that is when I graduated from St. Lawrence, when I walked the stage and got a blank. I didn't get a degree then. I didn't get a degree until my entire 5 years, which turned into 5.5 years because of this. Until that was all done, I didn't get my degree until late 2020. So when I walked the stage in 2018, I had a blank folder. And I remember sitting there and I'm watching whoever the class speaker was just say, you know what, this is nice, but I can't wait for this to be over. I can't wait to no longer be this square peg in the circle hole. So I go back for my last semester at Clarkson. At this point, I'm cancer free. Um, I just started dating. I just started dating someone who I now own a house and live with.
Let's go.
So I'm going to be graduating this December if all goes well, and we get an email saying that, do you want to speak at graduation? Submit a speech, submit a video of you saying this, speaking the speech, and see if you win. Lo and behold, I did end up winning, and you can actually see that speech on YouTube. So I'd have to dig it up a little bit, but
Oh,
thankfully someone was there to record it.
we're gonna link it for you for sure.
Y-
So I'll grab
All
that
right.
from you after.
Yeah,
That'd be
send that.
awesome.
Yeah, that was and that was an another again an awesome experience. And we talk about luck. I graduated 2 months before the COVID pandemic hit.
God bless. You would have got
Yeah.
another blank diploma.
Yeah, that would like I said, I don't know what would have happened, and I'm glad how things ended up turning out.
It creates more of a feeling than that makes me want to speak words, if that makes sense. Like for me personally, I mean, I obviously was aware of what was going on and things like that, but to really hear it from the source in depth and you opening up on this platform saying all of that stuff is like, damn, that dude, you got some serious bravery. Just like he said, um, I don't know. I mean, and here you are now, living the life that you're living right now, killing it every day, involved in all these things you got going on, coaching the football, you know, involved with the organization, the fundraiser you got going on, which I'd really love if you could expand on that. But dude, kudos to you and you didn't let that shit stop you, dude. I mean, that's insane.
Like being a football coach, you know what I mean? After going through like you can really connect like the old school lessons you learned back in the day to like all that perseverance and that tough patch of your life. And these kids when you're going through football, these kids don't really know. They don't really realize what's going on, who their coach really is, like all that bravery. And I just think it can go a long way. When you're going through things, people don't know.
How are you able to do that? I mean,
Yeah.
because what you overcame and came out on top of is some dude. I mean,
Like if you
eh,
laid that all out on the table, like just looking at all of that, it's like, wow.
There's um a lot of shit in that bucket, and I keep adding to it.
listen, bro, you got something in you that a lot of people don't have. So you know, I don't mean to keep holding this up, but it just amazes me truly, dude, because sometimes, you know, you don't know how tough you are until that's the only option you have. And you're one of the most happy-go-lucky, fun-loving dudes, like truly, like I love it. But it truly shows your character and the depth of your character coming out on top and still living, being that same dude, you know what I mean? That made me gravitate towards you back in the day in high school and everything. You know what I mean? Look at that smile. Look at zoom in on that. Zoom in. Yeah, you know what I mean? But for real, dude, like, you know, not only did you overcome and come out on top, but you didn't let it change you.
Dude,
You didn't become bitter. You didn't like none of that. Like, dude, you just love people and love life. And like that right there is the true goal.
I
So
think part of that was I don't want to get too into the religious side of things, but I did get back in touch with my faith a little bit, um, and I kind of see how much just faith and whatever you believe in. It doesn't have to be Christianity, uh, Judaism, Buddhism. Just how much you know having faith brings brings into your life. that you can truly do anything through the Lord, because the Lord empowers you, because you were not born to just be average. One thing I love about this podcast is it highlights people, it highlights the people we grew up with, it highlights our area. And how many times do you hear that, oh, I'm stuck in the valley, I'm stuck in Herkimer. And you know I love going home, I love visiting home. There is a great big beautiful world out there, and if you just take a step into that and just get out of your comfort zone, you can really really flourish out there. I love Savannah, Georgia. I love living here. Um, I never feel too far from home. If I do got to get home, it's a quick plane ride. I feel like all this had to happen, and I talk about me going through that depression, going through cancer, the highs and the lows. I talked a lot about the lows over the last 10 years, and there are some of the highs too. One of those highs was getting to play in a band with some of my best friends, including you, getting those professional experiences, the internships, all of that, getting to that point where I'm post treatment, I'm about to graduate. I feel on top of the world right now. I don't know what's next, but this feels really, really good.
Much deserved and earned.
That's right, King. That's right.
And before we get too far away from it, when we were talking about like you never changing, I didn't even meet you around 2 to 3 years ago. And like right off the bat, I mean, as soon as we launched Still Active, you were there supporting us. Like you were in our messages, you were always sliding up on our stories, and you were in contact with Matt, like giving us, praise and things like that. I mean, dude, I didn't even know you, and you were a great guy, like super nice. Like you're messaging me separately, like still to this day, every time we hop on a call, like it's always, we're always busting balls a little bit. We do get to business, but I mean, it's always a good time. You always have a smile on your
That's a part of the
face.
business, the ball
That is.
busting.
No, that is, dude.
For
No,
sure.
he's on the page too.
Hell yeah.
Submitted those photos of you in the adventure tee. One of the actually the first ever
Yeah. First ever.
still active short sleeve T-shirt was the black adventure tee,
Yeah.
and Napolitano submitted actually a few photos in front of the bricks.
Yeah.
This
Appreciate you,
boy has
man.
aesthetic too. I see you, Nap.
That was my old apartment. All right, so
Really?
all right, so 5 minutes ago I talked about how I love living in Savannah. If I could have picked up my apartment in Cortland, New York, and moved it down here, I would have.
Dang.
It was like I lucked out. I had like a loft style apartment, like something you'd see on like Friends or um
That's sick.
Yeah.
yeah, I miss it big time, but um I like being a homeowner too.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you like being a homeowner? I know you said you like it, but let's hear some specifics.
Man, I like being able to control what's around me, and being able, if I don't necessarily like something about the house, I can say, okay, I can change it to my vision. What's that going to take financially? What's that going to take materials? What's that going to take time wise? Time is probably the biggest thing in that. But I have more control over, you know, we say we control our destiny. I have control over what the destiny of my house will be. Financially, I want my property value to go up.
Right. Buy and hold, baby. Buy and hold. What was going through the mind of Steven Naperson during that race?
All right, so before that, I got to back it up just a little bit to when I started doing these, because ultimately, why I'm doing this, it's not just for shits and giggles. It's to fundraise for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I started doing like exercise challenges a few years ago. The first one I did was um, a 72-mile challenge where basically I picked a month, and in that month I had to run in total 72 miles.
Wow.
Ended up doing that, and then the following year I did a swim challenge. So picked a month, and in that month I had to swim 15 miles. So I'm doing these challenges, and I'm like, one thing I've always wanted to do is the Boilermaker. To Utica, New York. One of the
Nostalgic.
biggest, yeah, one of the biggest events that happens in the valley every year. So I did that in 2022. That was my first one. Um, Came back this past July, did my second Boilermaker. Before that, that was when I signed up for this half marathon because I needed to sign up like 8 months in advance or something.
Commitment.
And at that point, I was like, it it'll happen. It'll just happen. I kept training, just kind of doing my own thing. I wasn't on anything specific. Um, but it's the week before the half. I think the half is on Sunday. It's Wednesday. At this point, I'm exhausted. Uh I'm overworked. I'm stressed. It's 11 o'clock at night, and I said I need to go running right now because I'm so underprepared. Go running. There's a brick missing in the sidewalk, and I don't see it. So my foot, I don't go down to the ground, but I'm like, oh my God, that hurt, but I'm okay. I'm okay. Keep running. I get to like 2.5 miles. My goal was 6 that night. And then I start getting these really, really bad stomach cramps.
Oh, that's the worst.
To the point like, all right, I'm gonna sit on this bench for 5 minutes and then I'll be good. And then I'll pick it back up. So 2.5 miles, pick back up. I get another quarter mile down the road and I drop to a knee because my stomach cramps are so bad.
Oh, dude.
And I call my girlfriend. I said, "You need to pick me up because I can't do anything right now."
I've been there. Been there.
Yeah. So that's Wednesday night. Thursday, I traveled down to Florida. We did a 5K Friday morning. So I did the 5K um and strained my knee in the 5K. So I kind of just dealt with that for the rest of the weekend. Sunday morning rolls around and it's a 2 a.m. wake up. So I was in bed probably like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Shout out daylight savings time. Got me an extra hour.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But so 2 a.m. wake up. I need to be at like where like your group before the starting line. I had to
Yeah.
be there by 3:30 a.m.
Damn.
At this point, I'm just like I'm in the parking lot. I'm doing like I'm stretching, calisthenics, high knees, butt kicks, all that good stuff. I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom quick. Go to the bathroom. Not like 20 minutes later, like, do I have time to go to the bathroom again? Yeah, I can go to the bathroom. So now they call my corral up, and I'm in a sea of people because however many tens of thousands of people run this race. And I was like, oh no, I need to go to the bathroom again. So I'm just like, okay, okay, I can do it. I can do it. The fireworks went off for my corral. I start running, not going very fast. I run right into the woods. 1 minute later, came back, like, all right, we're good. We can do this. Um, Popped in the music. Music always kind of sets the tone. I think think you said that in episode 2. You were talking about how just like no matter what, even if you're not listening to music, you got music going on here.
Yeah, you
Same
gotta.
exact way. Man, I forgot what song I started off to. I think something off the new Blink album. I haven't been able to
I
stop
knew it. I
listening to
knew
that.
it, dude. Me
Yeah,
either. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it.
but at that point, I'm just like I said, mind almost kind of went on autopilot. One thing I did during training was I tried to do like I call them David Goggins runs, where I would just run, wouldn't look at my phone. I had the tracking going and no music. It just in my head. I've got like David Goggins yelling at me. And
Hell yeah.
I think the farthest I got with that was like 4 miles. But basically, it kind of prepared me to say like, hey, if something were to happen, if I lost my headphones, if I start, I don't know, maybe getting some more of those stomach cramps, or my knee acts up, or I roll my ankle. I'm gonna snag that out of the tool shed, and that's how I'm
Yeah.
gonna fight this.
Who's gonna
So
carry the
really,
boats?
yeah, for real, who's gonna wake up and carry the boats? And I know in the book that refers to the boats they had to do in Bud's training, but really what it comes down to is when you wake up every morning, who's gonna get the job done? Who's gonna make a positive impact in not only your life but someone else's too? Um,
100%.
yeah, that person's in the mirror.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was good shit. That's getting used as an Insta clip.
Yes, that's what I want. I just going through like, all right, what's gonna be good? What's gonna be good?
Yeah, this man has a whole list next to him. Yo, I love it.
But honestly, the only as far as the marathon goes, or the half marathon, the only thing where I was like, where I don't want to say I felt lost or I felt hopeless, but where I was like, I just got to push through this. I'm gonna say was like the last 2-ish miles. So right around mile 8, I was not doing great. I said, all right, I just got to nurse myself to like the double digits. I got to nurse myself to mile 10, mile 11. I ran a little, walked a little. So I finally get to that. I think it was I can't. It was either mile 10 or mile 11. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go. I had some like Tylenol in my pocket. I'm gonna take some Tylenol. I'm gonna grab some Powerade. I had a goo. You guys know what goo is?
What kind of goo are we talking here, Nat?
It is literally called goo. It's like this little packet of energy, electrolytes, amino acids, whatever.
Oh
It
no,
like it literally has the consistency um of like grease you would put on heavy machinery. It's
really?
disgusting. It is disgusting, but it works.
Hey,
So I take a goo. Um, I stop in the porta potty quick, and I'm just like, from here to the end of the race, I'm finishing. I'm putting my head down and I'm finishing. I think between that and the finish line, there were maybe like 2 instances where I had to stop and walk a few steps. At the last like mile, it comes to a point where like my arms are moving faster than my legs. So I try to get like my shoulders into it. And I posted a video on my Instagram where literally like the only momentum I have to finish is like I'm pumping my arms and my legs are just following. So I just like I keep going, and then I hear someone screaming, and I'm like, oh, it's my so I cut that out of the video, but I kind of do this like I do this like like somewhat of a wave, and then I'm crossing the finish line. I don't know what happened. Like I just like had this like impulsive need to do like this like LeBron James. I stretch my arms out and I just do this, pound the chest, yeah, yeah. And then I'm just after that,
Dude, that's
We
sick.
get handed a box. We get handed a box of like goodies, and I open it, and it's a bag of Skittles, Tostitos, chips, um, and like a like some of those peanut butter crackers.
The winnings.
Yeah, I'm just like, really? Okay.
Dude, it was hilarious. You're cashing. You're like, I really just ran 13 miles just to get handed a bag of Skittles.
Taste the rainbow.
I don't even like Skittles.
Damn. Well, hey, man. I mean, it made for a great, great memory, and again, it just showed, the mental, toughness behind it, and the self-talk, and I'm putting my head down. I'm gonna finish.
Now I'm trying to think, what's next? What's next? Is it a full marathon? One thing I've been wanting to do for a while, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will happen someday, is the Goggins 4x4x48 challenge.
Dude, yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, I don't know when it's going to happen, but that's something I want to happen here pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
For sure, dude. So this week's Sam that we had, this was Sam number 87.
Let's go.
There is no cookie cutter. In our little paragraph that we wrote, what may work for someone else may not work for you. Sure, you can apply techniques and approaches, but you may have to tweak them to adhere to your plan. There is no right path to take besides your own. As humans, we are a case by case basis. Live for you and remember that you are in the driver's seat of your life.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, thoughts on that one? Not
You know, man,
personal?
there are a couple ways you can think about that. At face value, there is no cookie cutter. Comes back to, look at what this person is doing. How come I'm not doing that? How come I'm not doing exactly that? You shouldn't compete. So many, especially in the age of social media, we all want to compete. And I think that it's good to be inspired. You guys definitely inspire me. I hope I inspire somebody out there.
Bro,
But it's good to be inspired, but that shouldn't come from a point of jealousy. That, yeah, you can do this. I can do it even better than you. And it's like, you shouldn't do it just to compare yourself to someone else. You should, if you want to improve, if you want to go out and achieve something, you should do it because you want to improve yourself. You want to say, I'm better than I was yesterday, but I'm not as good as I'm going to be tomorrow.
love that. I love that.
I would say I so you threw two different words in there. You used compete and compare, right? So my counter to what you said would be like I feel like competing is good, but the comparison is where people get lost. You know what I mean? The comparisons where you're like that envy comes in and you're like, why hasn't my hard work transpired into this? Or,
Hmm.
things like that. But I feel like the competition is, a little healthy.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely healthy competition, um, in
That's for
that,
sure.
and I think it goes back to the inspiration part of it. Another thing that I think about it is, there is no cookie cutter. You you have to be the cookie cutter. Your identity is you and nobody else. Nobody can be Matt Cano like Matt Cano.
Love that.
Nobody can be Steven Napolitano, um, better than Steven Napolitano. One thing that personally I'm trying to improve in my life, and this is in my career and my personal life, is I feel like I kind of have tendencies that, oh, I'm pretty good at this, but I don't really do that as often as I would like to, because I have other things going on. I have work, I have responsibilities, um, all these other things. And one thing, I actually got it written down in front of me, that I'm trying to improve on personally, is to just let the beast roar. Be the cookie cutter. Let you be you. Now that goes to a certain extent, though. In I believe it's the author is Malcolm Goldsmith. What got you here won't get you there. He talks about
Wow.
one of the bad habits is an excessive need to be you, an excessive need to pass off your flaws as virtues and say, "No, that's just who I am," and that's not what it means to let the beast roar. You know, that's the good qualities about you. Go out and play, let them out, help somebody with them, help yourself with them. The things about you that aren't the best, work on them. Work on them.
Live with intent.
Yeah, live with intent, be better than who you were yesterday, but not as good as who you're going to be tomorrow.
Love that.
That's an insta reel.
If you only do what you've always done, you'll only have what you already got. So if you want something more, if you want to experience something more, if you want to live larger, you need to do something different. You need to do something more. You need to you need to add value where you'll be valued.
I love that.
Dude.
Spitting game right
Oh
now.
my
Keep it
God.
keep it rolling, baby.
I've been waiting on this, and I know we had some scheduling conflicts, but this is what I've been looking forward to.
Dude, this is awesome. I'm so happy to have you on, bro.
Dude, this is like some shit that I'm gonna like pull up often and just be like, you know what? Yeah, yeah, he's right.
Dude,
He's
this
right.
is legendary, bro.
Dude, yeah, nah, like I love it. I would like to see some behind the scenes of the thought process that went into everything because you're dropping some timeless gems right now.
Yeah, you
So
got a great mindset, man, for real. Definitely very inspirational. You got a great head on your shoulders. You're doing great things. You're inspiring others, you know. So keep it up, bro.
I appreciate that, fellas. I really do. And um, no, like I said, I love this platform. I love this company, and just want to be in the mix, however I can be.
well, we love to have you, dude. It's you know, always appreciated and like Barton mentioned, from day one you've been showing your support and all that. So, like I said in the beginning of the episode, it's only right that we have you on, especially in the early stages of this, because you've the contributions have been more than noticed and more than appreciated, and we just really wanted to highlight everything you have going on because it's very inspirational to us, and we're impressed to say the least. So, listen, some things just make sense, and this is one of them. So,
Yeah, and to tie it into some very, very exciting news we got.
Oh, let's go. Been
Let's
waiting for
go,
this one.
baby. Here it is. So, I mean, how do you want to reveal this?
all right. So, as a lot of you have noticed, we have been going through a rebrand on our social medias as well as the core values of our brand. And the mission hasn't changed, it's just gotten larger. So, you've noticed that we updated our logo, we updated our Instagram business category from clothing brand to community because Still Active is something that we've always wanted to have people be a part of. We started off as just a clothing brand, but now the vision has just gotten bigger. Um, so we're trying to really incorporate that sense of community, the sense of togetherness of those who are on a journey of self improvement, success, whatever that may mean to you. It's different for everybody. So, with all that being said, Nap just went over some things that he's involved with, he's been through, he's got going on. So he is actually working with a fundraiser and an organization, and Still Active Co. is doing a collab with Mr. Napolitano, and we are actually going to have some fresh items on the site for you guys, and it's going to be in a specific collection. You can go check that out. 100% of the profits are going to be donated to Mr. Napolitano's fundraiser for a great cause. And Steve, if you want to dive in a little bit more in depth with the fundraiser.
Yes, absolutely. So, kind of like I said earlier, I am one of the executive committee members for Leukemia Lymphoma Society of Savannah, Southeast Georgia. Little tidbit found out today, I'm going to be accepting an award from Subaru I think next week here
Let's
pretty soon on
go,
behalf
dude.
of LLS. And
That's
that
awesome.
was, I gotta say, that one was another uh, luck of the trade.
You gotta get some photos of you accepting that.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that one.
So wait, hold up, wait, that's from Subaru?
Subaru's putting on the. I just found out about this today. Subaru's putting on the event. I got asked if I would accept the award on behalf of leukemia lymphoma.
Dude, that's sick. I knew I was doing something right when I bought my Subaru. I'm just
Nice.
saying.
But just a little bit about what Leukemia and Lymphoma Society does and the impact of blood cancer in general. So every 3 minutes in the United States, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Right now, blood cancer is the second leading cause of all cancer-related deaths in the United States. This next one hit a little close to home. More than 33% of blood cancer patients do not survive after 5 years. Do not survive 5 years after diagnosis. I am coming up on I'm coming up on 5 years on the dot. So there's going to be a big load off the shoulders once we hit January of 2024.
We're gonna have a huge party, bro.
I'm all for it.
Coming down to
I'm
Savannah.
Yes, yes. Um,
Oh, he he
so
he's not
they're
ready. He's not
basically.
ready.
I don't know if y'all are ready for Savannah. This is one hell of a town.
Well, I want you to show us the ropes.
So there are basically three different pillars that LLS stands on when it comes to what we what we fundraise for, and why. Patient and survivor support, advocacy, advocacy, and awareness. I personally think that Leukemia Lymphoma is one of, if not the best organizations to kind of give attention, donate to. I actually forgot research into treatments and cures. If you follow them on Instagram, you're going to see just about every day, every other day, a new leukemia lymphoma sponsored treatment or cure has been FDA approved or is in process. I'm actually I'm a product of that. The treatment I did at Wilmot Cancer Center in Rochester was a clinical trial that was sponsored by the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. Because of that, I did not have to undergo radiation, which was good news for me because where my cancer was located, I was actually rated unfavorable for radiation.
Oh wow.
Just some other things they've done. They've invested more than $1.5 billion in cancer research since 1949. They're funding nearly 200 research grants around the world. They've helped advance 70% of the blood cancer treatments approved by the FDA since 2017. One of my favorite things they do is the Dare to Dream project. So the Dare to Dream project is solely focused on pediatric blood cancer patients. 40% of all pediatric cancer patients, and what I mean by pediatric is anybody, I believe, 21 and younger. 40% of all pediatric cancers are blood cancers. Unfortunately, you know, some of these kids, maybe they're 4 or 5 years old, and they're getting these toxic treatments to try and alleviate and hopefully cure their cancers. Well, approximately 80% of child cancer survivors develop chronic health issues from the treatment. So that's 80% right there. Only 5% of oncology drugs right now have been approved for first time use in children. So, what this project does is really focuses in on how pediatric cancer is looked at, how it's treated, and to see if we can develop newer treatments and drugs that are a little easier on the body of a developing 5-year-old.
That's amazing, man.
Wow.
I mean, super important. Looking out for the safety of the kids.
They're the future.
Yeah,
Nah, man, for real. I mean, that's why it just made so much like it just like I said, like some things are just right, and this is one of them for us to come together and collab and you know what I mean, highlight this, on each other's platform and just really just go up together and it's a great cause, something that we really want to be a part of and you being a leader in all of this and sticking by this community is just truly amazing. So we're here for it. We just want to support.
Appreciate it, and I feel the love. I feel the love all the way from back home in New York. I feel it in Savannah. All my friends from college, everyone I've met, kind of around the country, around the globe. I feel the love. I've felt the love, and I want to return the favor and say thank you. Really, just show my appreciation for this life.
Absolutely, dude. And I think you're doing just that every single day.
definitely.
Just to kind of give you guys a quick recap, we are going to have those items live on the site. It's going to be in its own collection right on the front page. You guys can check it out there. Go see what's up. It's a great cause to be a part of. 100% of the profits are going to be donated right to the fundraiser. Definitely check it out, guys, for sure. Question of the week number 4.
Can you call yourself out?
Boom.
It's kind of a rhetorical question if you can't, because
If you're really for the first time ever stepping into personal development and wanting to get to a place where you've never been before, this is one of the harder, possibly the hardest thing you can do. And it's something I personally still struggle with. If you want to get to that next step, you have to call yourself out. Maybe like a recap. Okay, what have I done this week, this month? And maybe it's not even just what you've physically done, but what you've said, what you've thought in certain situations. Say, I said those things and I really didn't I didn't like what I said. I didn't like, maybe I said some hurtful things. Maybe I said something behind someone's back, and I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want someone to do that to me. So right there, if you really mean that, and you don't want to be that person, you have to call yourself out and say, okay, I did this. I did something I shouldn't have, or I did something, but it's not up to my standard. What can I do better for next time? What hinders a lot of people in that is the fact that they're just too hard on themselves. That, I was mean to this person. I said something I shouldn't have. I told myself I was going to work out 3 times this week. And each of those times, I sat on the couch and ate Cheetos instead. And sometimes you can go into this dark place and say, oh, why am I like this? I hate the way I am. I don't want to be like this anymore. But the call yourself out, it's not supposed to put you down. It's supposed to bring you up. And the secret to that is loving yourself. I talked earlier about how I was depressed, how I didn't know I didn't know if what I was doing was worth it. I was depending on others to make me happy. And if I wasn't happy, it would just make me even more depressed. I didn't know how to love myself. And it's still something I'm still trying to every day trying to figure out, but you have to love yourself. And you have to love yourself enough to call yourself out and improve.
it's a first step to change.
100%. And I think to kind of go, off of what you were saying too, it's not to, bring you down, it's to bring you up, but it's also to make you aware, because I can say for me personally, there's been times in my life where I knew I really wasn't proud of the things I was doing or saying or acting in a certain situation. I knew I could be better, but I didn't want to look myself in the mirror. For some reason, I was trying to avoid it, and that was immature and not the person I wanted to be. But I think that calling yourself out makes you aware so that it can allow you to take the necessary steps to change for the better, be who you want to be, and most importantly, like love yourself. There's been times in my life where I didn't love myself. And I think that every single day we learn new things and it's a new opportunity to get it right, whatever that may mean to you. It's going to be constant. Calling yourself out is going to be constant. Like, I know I'm going to look back and probably 5 years from now and be like, wow, like, man, I'm glad that I fixed that or I changed that up about myself, because it's to be to reach a level of success and what that means to you resonating within you. It's not a one-time thing. It requires maintenance every single day. Um,
It really does. One thing I didn't mention this earlier. One thing I did after I got my diagnosis, I took basically a little inventory. I had two sets of lists. This is a list of people before I put this on social media or anything. I want them to know because they've just been there for me, and this is I want them to know what this thing is going on in my life before anybody else, and to let them know, hey, you have been this amazing person in my life, and I want you to know how much I appreciate you. And then there was this other list. There was this other list of people I kind of felt that maybe I had wronged, that I didn't end on good terms with, and I just said I need to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm sorry for whoever I was. I'm sorry for this, for what I did, for what I said. I hope that you can forgive me. This is currently something I'm going through, and whatever happens, I don't want there to be I don't want there to be an issue. I don't want there to be bad blood.
right.
Um, and honestly, the one of the indicators that basically said, "Hey, you can forgive yourself," is I got a card. I got a card from my ex-girlfriend in the mail, who at the time I thought hated me. After I got the card, I reached back out to her, and just we kind of settled settled on good terms. And I showed my gratitude, and she showed her support, and it made my heart so full. And that was I think the first step into, okay, I can forgive myself. If other people can forgive me, I can forgive myself. And every day that's something that I still say, okay, I can forgive myself, but I need to get better. And
Yeah, absolutely.
that's where the push and pull is.
Once you actually reach out to them or they reach out to you and you realize it's like, hey, listen, what happened happened. Let's move on from it. And no bad blood, no bad vibes. Like it truly does. It's just like it does something to you.
It's a breath
Hmm.
of fresh air.
It really is, man. And like, cause like truly to this day, I have no problem, no beef with no with anybody, dude. And like I'm the type of person where if there's an issue or something like that, I like to get it out in the open, like right off the bat. I do not want to go to bed mad at anyone. I don't want to go to bed with someone mad at me because life's fragile.
Sure.
And just like you said, you wanted to reach out to those people. And you're like, look, I don't know, regardless of what happens, I want you to know this. And like I just think that's really, really important. And I think a lot of people hold grudges and whatever else it may be. And it's just like, at some point you gotta let it go. You gotta like free up your heart of that grudge or hatred and, fill it with something positive, joy, happiness, love. And I think that that will translate into other areas of your life as well. Because, if you hold baggage, it's not good.
It's gonna hurt you more than, you know.
Well, not only that, but the people around you that you care for and that you want to be better for, but you have to forgive yourself and let that go at some point. And I
Hmm.
still struggle with that. This, like I say, this is a constant maintenance thing. Like this is not just a you wake up one day and everything's better,
We're
you know.
humans.
So, but that's again, it kind of goes along with the Sam this week. Like we are a case by case basis. Truly,
Yeah.
every single person, every single one of us is made up of something just a little bit different, but the good news is if you find a good group of people, some solid individuals and you want to be around them and likewise. And, I think that's really important. But everybody, you know, you, Barton, my other friends, like everything, like I've been blessed and hasn't always been easy with any person relationship in your life. You may say or do something that may come off the wrong way, even though the intentions aren't like that. But you hash it out, you move on, and you tell them you love them. I've told people even in the midst of an argument, it's like, I love you, but you know, we're this is kind of whatever because I would just hate to, God forbid, something happen. Like I said, like life is fragile, and when I was younger, I used to think that it wasn't so fragile and that everyone was invincible because you see bad things happen and whatever else, and it's like that can't happen to me. But then you reach a point in your life where something does happen to you, or something
Mhm.
very close, someone very close to you. You're like, damn, like this isn't right. You know what I mean? So I think that really reaching out to somebody that you may have think you have bad blood or whatever is really good. Thank you, Steve, for bringing that up because I think that that's not talked about enough, and I think that it could really help a lot of people out.
Honestly.
For better or for
So,
worse, you never know what tomorrow is going to bring.
but you can take something away from either one.
Yeah.
And honestly, we had to do this thing at one of my jobs where you gotta you gotta write what you're thankful for on it, and people were surprised at my answer. Everyone was like, my family, this or that, da, 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 da. I just put the good and the bad, and people were like, the bad, what? Like, and it's like, no, dude. Like, I've learned some of my most valuable lessons in times of stress or sadness or whatever. Like, because you don't want to feel those feelings. You want to feel them as least as you possibly can. No
Hmm.
one wants to be sad. No one wants to be hurt. No one wants to be stressed out. So when those moments happen, you're like, man, I really don't want to feel this anymore. So how can I decrease these situations that are going to, make me feel this way or make people around me feel this way? So that's how I try to look at them, not so much as losses, but lessons.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Learn to navigate them.
thanks again, Nap, for bringing that up. I think that's really huge, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. So if you're watching this, reach out. Don't be scared. Life goes on.
Hell yeah. Any other ending points, Nap? Anything else on your mind?
I don't think so, fellas. Just want to say, if there is someone who kind of wants to reach out, who is maybe dealing with something with like a cancer diagnosis, depression, or just wants to be better than they were yesterday, please feel free to hit me up. Instagram, my personal is Stephen Paulo underscore, and you can find everything I do for fundraising at Kick Cancer's Ass. I think underscore 723 or no underscore 723.
We'll link it
But
up for you.
nonetheless, yeah, um, reach out. I love hearing from people. Help me help you.
Love it.
Love it, man. Appreciate you coming on, man. Taking your time out your day. All the
Thank you.
schedule conflicts we had, we finally made it happen.
We
Definitely
did.
glad to have you on, bro. It was a great episode. I think
It
we
was
touched
written in
on
the
some,
stars.
yeah, we touched on some great stuff too. So I think this was a great episode.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Thank you again, and it's always a pleasure. And hope you guys watching this, can take some value because there was a lot of game spit today by Mr. Steven Napolitano. So, yeah, week 4, that's a wrap. Thank you guys. Tune in and
Like, comment, subscribe, all that good fun stuff. We'll have all Steve's accounts and things linked down below in the description. So definitely check that out. Throw him a follow, throw him some support. And let's just keep this thing rolling, baby.
new guests, new content, new items on the site soon. Another big announcement coming up. You already know.